So what is this channel all about, and why does it exist on YouTube?
Yesterday I had a short conversation with someone where I tried to explain, perhaps unsuccessfully, why I made this channel. It's time to lay the cards on the table in the best way I know how. In a video. I always liked finding out about new things and figuring out how they work. When I was a kid, on lazy weekends, I used to save 3 parts of the Sunday paper: the entertainment section, the comics, and the ads from electronic stores. Sometimes we went to the mall, where I got to play with the latest gadgets at my favorite stores. I didn't have any money, but I sure had a lot of time. Before the internet, for most busy adults, salespeople were the experts. They had a monopoly since they were the most efficient and reliable sources of product information. But for a long time, people didn't find out about new products until they saw them in newspaper ads, on TV commercials, or if highly trained salespeople personally showed them off at retail stores. That's how Atari and Nintendo were successful. The idea for this channel really began with a simple question: is there a better way to learn about new products? Every disruptive innovation starts with some sort of technological catalyst. And with information distribution in general, that catalyst is the internet. Today, millions of people will never make a single large purchase without checking the web first. This fact helps explain why the business model of so many formerly successful retail stores were disrupted. They lost their monopoly on product information. Since the 1990s, the retail industry had to become more productive. To survive, companies have to figure out how to sell more at lower costs. And for some of these specialty retailers, a big part of these costs were the salespeople. I know because I worked for one of them. So this channel is based on the premise that there are new and better ways to find out what's next.
Wait, what makes this channel different than all those other YouTube channels?
Let me explain with some background into how the internet has evolved. The early web was made up mostly of static web pages or walls of text with low-resolution pictures on the side. If you had a question about something, you usually had to send an email.
You've got mail.
Or, if you were determined enough, spend hours searching web portals like AOL, Yahoo, or MSN. People really couldn't interact with each other until the start of the next phase, Web 2.0. Now people could communicate and collaborate with each other, forming the foundation of social media. All social networking is based on user-generated content that is infused with meaning and promoted with relevancy to friends and family. But what is even more powerful is the direct line of communication between content creators and the audience. Believe me, even though they might not respond, good YouTubers read all the comments. Now back to the retailers. Electronics retailers that had to pay salespeople high commissions were feeling the pain. With product information that was essentially free, anyone could go online to read reviews and get opinions from friends and family almost instantly without ever leaving the house. As more and more products could be easily downloaded or delivered by FedEx or UPS, the market for specialty retailers started to shrink as a new but growing set of customers preferred the convenience and transparency of lower-cost internet-based retailers. But I think the demand for good information and research is still out there. Today we're seeing the beginning of Web 3.0, and I hope that's where this channel finds a home.
What's that?
Some call it the convergence of the virtual and physical world. Think Google Glass and its augmented reality layer, or watching YouTube videos while you shop, essentially blending the virtual and physical worlds. The tipping point of Web 3.0 might be the mass diffusion of high-quality video to TVs, laptops, tablets, and mobile devices, to the point where the internet swallows the television, which I think is already happening today. It's just not evenly distributed. Now some personal background into why my videos are the way they are. The kid in me always wants to play with the latest electronics, but having just finished college, I definitely don't have any money, and after sending out hundreds of applications, no career path, and a ton of student loans. So in 2012, I started making videos about things I was interested in but still couldn't afford, starting with front-load washers, and hence the name, My Next Appliance. But after my brother let me borrow his 3rd-generation iPad to review, I was hooked on making tech-based videos. But my 3-year-old Core 2 Duo laptop could barely handle 720p video. On top of that, I had to return the camera I was borrowing. So I made the jump into learning about the latest Apple computers, since I learned how to edit on Final Cut Pro 10. So now without a camera, I had to figure out different ways to get my points across. This forced me to learn how to let the editing tell the story. Check out my 10-year history of Apple keynotes to see my favorite but most time-consuming video. Then during the summer of 2012, I was getting ready to upgrade my phone when I realized that I didn't really know anything about mobile processors. And that's how Chip Wars was born. This series really gave me the confidence to start the Phone Wars and Tablet Wars series. Then longtime YouTube subscriber Just Mattis commented that I should do a video about PlayStation and Xbox, so now we have Gaming Wars. While I was in the middle of Gaming Wars, I thought about stopping Chip Wars because it seemed like not that many people appreciated the videos. But then Milton Williams commented that the series needed updating, and so I continued it, and even branched it out to cover gaming console processors. Then I had an idea for a TV Wars series, but I wanted to see what everyone thought first. When I read this comment, along with a bunch of others, I knew we had a winner. By the way, sorry if I leave some of you out, or if I don't respond to your comments, but know that I will always read each and every comment. All this is to say how your feedback will always guide and shape this channel. So please don't hesitate to ask a question, criticize the video, or even just leave an ellipsis to show that you like the series. I want this channel to be a place where we can discover, debate, and think about the most innovative technologies and companies together. I will never delete a comment or criticism against me. They actually help this channel get better. My only rule is to respect everyone else's opinions and preferences, since we all have unique use cases. Now going forward, while I will always try my best to cover major tech announcements, I really don't want this channel to be limited to just chips, phones, tablets, or gaming consoles. We could talk about anything really, especially if it's something we use every day, like coffee machines or toasters. So here is where I need your input in shaping the future of what this channel could be. What would you like to see reviewed here? I really love learning about new things, and at least for me, the best way is to make a video about it. For example, I always wondered how exactly does a washing machine actually get my clothes clean? Or what's the next step in car transmission innovation? Technology really is defined as any tool, machine, appliance, or system that solves a problem. We could even do a yearly review of innovative companies themselves to see how their businesses are doing. We could talk about how to improve performance for things like Wi-Fi, battery life, and living with data caps. Or how about some software tips like how I use Google, secure my networks and passwords, and my data backup routines. My niece and I even once reviewed R2-D2 from Star Wars. Really, the sky's the limit when it comes to finding out about new things and figuring out the best ways to use them. I might not get to your ideas right away, but if I ever get to make videos full-time, your suggestions in the comments will always have priority whenever it becomes hard for me to come up with new ideas. To make this process easier, just vote or reply to the suggestions you think are interesting. Remember, even if you don't need a new microwave now, you might need one someday, or you might learn how to maintain your existing microwave better. I left some comments below to get us started. This is the true power of Web 3.0, and what I hope makes this channel unique. Collaborative content that helps us all get our heads around new things and how best to use them. And that's all I gotta say about that. By the way, in case you're curious, my next purchase will definitely be this upcoming album that I'll be listening to as I make future videos. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed with email notifications, give it a shot. Daft Punk, anyone?